Today, we have the privilege of speaking with Joseph Magero, a leading advocate for tobacco harm reduction in Africa, based in Kenya, and he's the chairman of the Campaign for Safer Alternatives, or CASA for short. And with nearly a decade of experience in tobacco control, Joseph Magero has dedicated his career to reducing the devastating health impacts of smoking across the continent. And his journey from traditional tobacco control efforts to becoming a dedicated supporter of reduced risk products highlights his commitment to finding effective solutions to the smoking epidemic. And as Kenya considers the proposed Tobacco Control Amendment Bill, which introduces new regulations on nicotine products, Joseph's insights will be invaluable in understanding the potential implications of this legislation on public health and the future of harm reduction in the region. We will explore how the bill aligns or conflicts with the principles of tobacco harm reduction and what this could mean for smokers seeking safer alternatives. So hi, Joseph. Thank you for joining us today for this insightful coffee chat for our viewers. So let's discuss the proposed tobacco control bill. So the proposed bill introduces stringent regulations on electronic nicotine delivery systems, which includes requiring prior approval from the Cabinet Secretary for Health. How do you think these regulations might impact the accessibility of reduced risk products for smokers looking to transition away from traditional cigarettes? And please do feel free to provide a balanced view to the argument.
First of all, thank you for having me, Jessica. So, while the bill aims to regulate ends for public safety, I think it's important to balance these measures while maintaining access. There's 5 things the bill is looking to do. The first thing is the bill is looking to ban all flavors, ban vaping indoors, lower nicotine strengths, increase taxes, and reduce availability. I think if legal reduced risk products become harder to access or less effective due to restrictions, and smokers will turn back to the black market, as we've seen it happening in South Africa. Secondly, I also think that by doing so, we're going to discourage smokers from switching to less harmful products.
Yeah, well said. And the bill also prohibits the use of characterizing flavors in nicotine products, which could make these products less appealing to adult smokers looking to switch from traditional cigarettes, which could be a negative thing, to helping those people. So given that flavorings actually can play a crucial role in helping smokers to transition to these lower risk alternatives, do you believe this restriction could hinder harm reduction efforts, and how might it affect adult smokers who rely on these flavors to make the switch?
I think prohibition of flavors can hinder harm reduction efforts because we use flavors to attract and retain smokers who want to switch to less harmful products. I don't think flavors are a bad thing. I think reducing the appeal for less harmful alternatives will, first of all, impact on consumer choice. It will cause a higher relapse risk for people returning back to smoking. And it will also create a growth of an illicit market. I mean, me personally, I use mint flavor exclusively. And once I don't have that, I find myself smoking. So I believe this will happen for the millions of smokers that are looking to switch.
But how could maybe advertisers be more responsible regarding flavors appealing to children in terms of how those are advertised and marketed? Because there are certain flavors that have kiddie-like names and images. What do you think about that?
I think the main issue with flavors is simply the packaging and the colors. I don't think the flavor in itself, if it was, for example, like in a package like this, it will not attract a child. I mean, we've got nicotine gum on the shelves that has different colors, and we don't hear anybody complain about that. I don't think it's ideal to demonize flavors in themselves, because it's what we use to attract smokers to try these products. A lot of them are very skeptical about these new nicotine products, and flavors play an important role in attracting them and retaining them there.
I've also got a question about taxation policies. So the bill proposes higher taxes on products with higher nicotine concentrations to discourage excessive consumption. So in your opinion, is this good or a bad thing? And could this approach inadvertently drive consumers back to more harmful traditional cigarettes, given that higher taxes might make reduced risk products less affordable?
Absolutely. I mean, right now, even the products on the market, not everyone can afford them. I mean, the one vape is equivalent to 4 packs of cigarettes. I think what the government is trying to do here, perhaps, is maybe they're trying to look to ban them indirectly by using taxes. And what that is doing even currently is that it's encouraging a lot of people to go back to the illicit market. I mean, majority of what we have right now in Kenya is from the illicit market.
In terms of the nicotine concentrations that you have in the market, do you think that the government is trying to lower them too much, or do you think they're reasonable in terms of being concerned about the current concentrations that are on the market? Because obviously you can go too high. You don't want to deliver nicotine concentrations and are going to cause negative effects in terms of people's health. So how about the current nicotine concentrations that are on the market? Do you think they are too high?
I haven't seen the exact figure that the government is proposing, but what I do know, what we have here averagely is between 6 milligram and 10 milligram. Those are products that were regulated in the past. So I think if you maintain it at that level, it will be.
Yeah. Okay. So you think that's actually quite an appropriate level, 6 to 10 milligrams?
Definitely.
People
I think
might,
so.
yeah. Okay, so I have a question about restrictions on product approval. So with the requirement for all tobacco nicotine products to obtain approval from the Cabinet Secretary for Health, do you think this could delay or obstruct the introduction of innovative harm reduction products in the Indian market? And how might this affect public health outcomes?
I think that will do 2 things. First, it's going to slow down, it will delay product availability, and also it will be a barrier to innovation. I mean, it will discourage manufacturers from introducing new innovative harm reduction products, and that will lead to a worsening of health outcomes. Kenya already we have 3.2 million smokers and 9,000 die every year. I think by delaying new products to come into the market, ultimately we'll be losing more lives.
I have a question about the regulation of vapor as smoke. So it seems the government wants to equivalate tobacco smoke with e-cigarette vapor. How do you perceive, so they want to, sorry, the proposed bill expands the definition of smoke to include the inhalation of synthetic nicotine through electronic means such as vaping. How do you perceive this redefinition in the context of public health?
I think that is a lot of misinformation there, because we all know that, first of all, electronic cigarettes do not have tobacco, there is no smoke, and there is no combustion. So I think putting them on the same category is really not doing justice to anyone that's looking to switch or quit smoking cigarettes, because the evidence is there in public that electronic cigarettes are 95 at least % safer than tobacco cigarettes. So if you put them on the same category and then you tax them on the same way, you're not doing any justice to smokers here.
Yeah, well said. And do you have any final words for anyone listening regarding any deadlines for submitting comments to this proposed bill?
Yes, I think if you go to AHRA.info, that's AHRA.info, you have on the news category, you have information about this bill and where you can make your submissions to. The deadline is on the 17th of September, which is next week.